Hi guys, Sanbonani. My name is Tado Kumalo. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on the video. I appreciate it so much. If you're coming back, welcome back, Han. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. Okay, guys, let's get on with the topic. We're speaking about Miss Big Nandz, Unande, who had what is called a crash out. You guys are not watching my ads. You guys are not watching my ads. Firstly, let me just say I want to categorically be clear that I do not think it was a crash out. And even if it meets the definition and the standards of a crash out, I think it was valid. I think it was a valid crash out, if we're going to call it a crash out. So, okay, who is Big Nandz? What does she do? So Big Nandz is a YouTuber. Like she said, her main source of income is from YouTube. But she's also an entrepreneur. She owns a clothing store called Lego Style. I am deliberately wearing this dress because this is a Lego style dress. I bought this from Miss Big Nandz clothing store. There's a purple dress also that I wore in my recent videos. I'll put a picture here or there. That is also from Lego Style. Really good clothes, really good material, good craftsmanship. So far, yeah, I'm a return customer. She's also an MC, so she's MC'd a few gigs. She also is a club host, but I think she did say that she'll be slowing down on club hosting. So you'll see even on her channel that she doesn't go to do club hosting almost every weekend like she used to. She's also appeared on TV, so she was on a reality show, and I think that's where her stardom really rose, from the reality show that she was on. And she's had like an acting gig, one or two here or there. It doesn't seem like she has a huge brand deal, but there are some brands that she has partnered with here and there, here and there. Okay, so she definitely is a girl of many talents and has multiple sources of income coming in. So now that I've given you a background on Miss Big Nandz, let's watch the crash out video.
Can we have this conversation now? I was talking to my YouTube coach yesterday, so we now went on and we analyzed how my channel has been doing. You guys are still skipping my ads. You guys are still skipping my ads. After all of this hard work that I put on this channel, like, I don't know how I should explain or emphasize to you guys the importance of watching my ads, like, honestly. Like, Linda, my ads, because this is my bread and my butter. Like, YouTube is my main source of income. After all of the content that I keep giving you guys, after all of the consistency that I give you guys, there's still people who skip my ads. You guys don't know the work and the effort that I put on this channel. Like, I don't make money if you are only watching my video. Like, you're just consuming my content, and when it comes to my ads, you want to skip my ads. Like, I was just so hurt. I was just so hurt that I thought I've already built like a community with you guys, a community that supports my hustle, a community that loves me, but you guys still want to skip my ads. Honestly, guys, this is so unfair. What do you guys want from me? What is it that I don't do for you? Like, how are you constantly growing on someone's YouTube channel, watching their content, enjoying their content, feeling motivated, but when it comes to supporting them back, you guys don't support me? I can't believe that 50% of you guys are not watching my ads. Like, how?
Okay, so that was the crash out. Yeah, the YouTuber Miss Big Nandz. That was the crash out. So she basically emphasized in the video that YouTube is her main source of income. So let's look at, before we go into deep on the Nande crash out, let's look at how do people make money on YouTube. So I think the most obvious way is through AdSense. this is when the ads play on your video. There's something they call the CPM. So the CPM is what the advertisers pay per 1,000 views on your video. So per 1,000 views, the cost that the advertisers pay is called the CPM. Okay, that's what comes from the advertiser and goes to YouTube per 1,000 views. And then there's something that's called the RPM. Now the RPM, think about it as like your net pay on your pay slip or your paycheck. So that's your net pay. This is the money that comes to you as the creator. So you get your CPM, which is the cost that the advertiser pays. Then YouTube takes its own percentage of it. So I don't know, 35% or 45%, they take their percentage. And then the net that's left over from that pot that comes to you, to your pockets, that is called the RPM. So in simple terms, it's 8 cents. Okay. That is the main way that people make money on YouTube. Then there are memberships. So this is where a person pays a monthly subscription to be a member to your channel, and you can just, sometimes people are just members to just support you, and sometimes, creators actually do release membership only content, but it's a monthly subscription, and there are different packages that creators can select from. Okay. Again, YouTube takes a percentage and then the rest goes to the creator. There's also the super chat or the super thanks. So I think it's called super chat when it's on a live video, but super thanks if the video is not live. But basically people click on, there's a heart shape on the video, or below the video there'll be something with the heart shape. You click on it and you basically decide how much you're giving the creator, and obviously YouTube will take a percentage of that money and the creator gets the rest. Then you can get brand deals. So this is where you are promoting a product or a service, but the requirement is that you promote it in your YouTube content. So it must be part of your YouTube content where you're promoting this product or you're promoting the service. So think of the girlies who do wig reviews. Yes, those are brand deals. That is a brand deal. That is a sponsorship. And some of the brand deals will say we want a standalone video on YouTube, or some will say we want you to integrate it into your normal content. So if you're a sit down channel, we want you to integrate it into that. If you are a vlogger, we want you to integrate it into your vlogs. Okay, but that's another form of making money on YouTube. Okay, so now we know how money is made on YouTube. Asibuyele kuSisi Nande, uBig Nandz. Big Nandz has 100,000 subscribers. Okay, so if you've only seen the crash out but you haven't watched her content, you'll see that her primary content on YouTube will be vlogs. She used to do story times, but it's mainly vlogs. And before she starts every video, Big Nandz will, like, she does this thing that's so funny. She'll be like, take your remote.
Anyways, guys, the first rule in this house, the minute you sit down, you want to put on my vlog, you take that remote, you go and knock inside your neighbor's house. Your neighbor will already know by the knock, who's there? Your neighbor now. Oh, you dey watch Big Nandz vlog? Yes, so, okay, make I keep remotes for you. I don't want you to be fighting with Big Nandz. Take that remote, put it inside freezer. Take that remote, put it under the couch. Take that remote, throw it outside the window. As long as the remote is not going to be inside for you to be skipping my ads. Because the minute you're trying to skip my ad, are you trying to take my bread away from my mouth? I don't understand, though. Because the minute you're trying to skip that ad, Thunder will locate your house. That small remote you're trying to use, it will break in half, oh. Please, I don't like vex. I don't like fighting with people. Do the right thing. Sit down, watch vlog. Do not skip ads.
She has such a funny way. It's so funny. It's hilarious. So she does this in every video where she reminds us to watch the ads, but she's not just sitting there saying, guys, please watch my ads. Like, it's so comedic and people know her for that. So it's really, really hilarious. She's found creative ways of reminding people to watch her ads. So this is part of why I say, for me, it's a valid crash out, because it's one of those things, like, You know, when you are reminding someone to do something, you keep on telling your man there in the house or your kids, guys, please take out the trash. Please take out the trash. Now it's Monday, you're asking them. Tuesday, you're asking them. Wednesday, you're asking them. By the time you start screaming on Thursday, now they call it a crash out. But you've been speaking nicely for 3 days, asking this man to take out the trash, asking your kids to take out the meat from the freezer. You know what I mean? You even called them during your lunch break to say, guys, please remember to take meat out from the freezer. But when you come back home, the meat is still in the freezer, or they just took it out now because they heard your car, then they remembered. So the meat is still frozen. You know what I mean? The bin is still full. And the bin guys have already left. You pick it up, say hambile, ulibele uncenga umuntu ukuthi akhiphe idustbin, umncenga ukuthi akhiphe idustbin. You know what I mean? So by the time now you start crying and whatever, now it's a crash out. No, but she's been asking, and she's been doing it in the most creative ways. This is part of why I don't see it as a crash out. As a person who watches her content all the time, I watch most of her YouTube videos. But I think for me then, it's a bit of a tough one. It's a bit of a tough one, you know. It's tough also because for me, I watch her vlogs and I appreciate the fact that she uploads content 2 to 3 times a week, because honestly, sometimes we run out of vlogs to watch. If you watch vlogs, we run out of content to watch over the week. So I really do appreciate it when she pops up with a random second vlog for the week on a Thursday, or another random vlog on a Saturday. I appreciate it for my entertainment. But at which point do we balance out the scales where it makes sense for me to sit through a 20-minute ad? It doesn't, you know? So I think for her own sake, what she should do is to look for more sustainable ways of making money. And yes, she has multiple sources of income, but maybe they are not as sustainable. So for instance, her business, her clothing shop, is there, but it's still at an infancy stage. Like, it's still a couple of years old. So I would assume in my mind that she's probably not profitable at this point. She is probably investing a lot of money back into the business. And so she can't then pull in a lot of funds from the business right now, because the business is still fairly new and she's still investing a lot into the business. So she needs to find sustainable ways of making money beyond YouTube. Another thing that might lead to her frustration as well, where I say beyond YouTube, was because there was a time where she was making a lot of money, but YouTube is very seasonal. So around towards the end of the year, when people start with your vlogmases, you know, around December, around the holiday time period, advertisers are shoving in a lot of money into the platform. And so there is a more higher CPM that people get. Your RPM, so the money that gets into your pocket, is a bit higher than other times of the year. So there'll be a decline in Jan. You know what I mean? And there was a time when she had a lot of views because she was going through her BBL journey. So people are interested in that. So she was probably raking in way more money and way more viewership than she will on a normal time where she is just vlogging. So she needs to find more sustainable ways of making money. Another thing I feel like she needs to look at is, yeah, every video she makes those jokes, and I did say it's a creative way of reminding people to watch her ads. But you know what? Maybe it doesn't have to be on every video. There comes a point in time where if you repeat something too many times, it gets lost in the wind. It gets lost in the sauce. Like now I'm used to it. You know what I mean? Now I'm used to it. It no longer makes an impact. So maybe she must reduce it a little bit, you know, just tone it down a little bit so that it makes an impact when she does mention it. I'm just saying. She also needs to look at maybe also every now and then just introducing a laid back educational way of asking people to watch her ads. So as an example, I'm on YouTube Premium, so I do not see any ads. So she can encourage her people, especially because she doesn't have memberships. So it's an opportunity to say, guys, you know what? Maybe get YouTube Premium, because people do get paid from our viewerships. I don't know the science behind that. I don't know whether I need to watch the full video for someone to get paid. I need to watch 50% of it for someone to get paid. But in their income breakdown, you do get paid for your audience who are YouTube premium people. Okay, so maybe educate people about YouTube Premium, educate them about how much it is, or maybe just reach a compromise with your audience. So say to your audience, you know what, guys, I actually appreciate you, but I know that some of these ads are way too long. Some of these ads are like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, they're like a full-on movie. So maybe, guys, please just watch maybe the 2-minute ads, the 5-minute ads, but once an ad gets to 20 minutes, you guys can skip it. Then you are reaching a compromise with your audience. There's a level of understanding. Another thing I think she also needs to look at maybe is her content schedule. So like I said before, she uploads minimum 2 vlogs a week or 3, so it's 2 to 3 vlogs a week.
I would even go to an extent of like posting 3 vlogs a week.
So I think she should start playing around with a different content schedule. So maybe post 1 vlog a week, and compare that to posting. So compare between posting 1 vlog a week and posting 2 vlogs a week, and see what that does to her revenue, or compare between posting 2 vlogs a week against posting 3 vlogs a week, and see if there's a change in her revenue. Because at some point, let me make an example of exercising or steps. If you walk 10,000 steps a day, you are fine, there are health benefits, maybe you start losing weight, you have more energy, etc. Once you get to maybe 15,000 steps, there's a plateau. Nothing increases, nothing reduces. It's a plateau. There's no difference. But once you increase your steps to 20,000 steps, then it's even more damaging, right? Because now you are tired, your ankles hurt, you have to replace your walking shoes a bit more, so that's more of a cost. Your appetite increases, so now you start gaining more weight, because increased appetite means you're eating more food. So it's that impact. Maybe posting 3 vlogs actually does nothing for her revenue compared to if she reduced it down to 2 vlogs. You know what I mean? So I think she should look at her content schedule and maybe see what actually works better. Maybe people just need to miss you. So maybe 1 week you post 1 vlog, and then the next week you post 2, then the next week you post 1, then the ganjalo. Just play around with that. And maybe there is something to people actually missing you. I think another consideration that she should make is definitely on the content mix. So I spoke about the content scheduling, but now I'm referring to the content mix. So the type of content that she's providing. She used to do story times, and now she's primarily focused on vlogs. But in all the niches that people can get into on YouTube, lifestyle vlogging is definitely one of the niches that earn the least amount of money, and that is well known. So the CPM for vlogging content is very, very low. One of the highest CPM earners in terms of niches would be on YouTube would be like financial advice, any money related topics. So even if you are a vlogger, but on that particular video you are focusing on money advice, those kind of things, that video has a potential of earning a higher CPM than your other videos will earn. So content mix, right? So within her speciality, she's been a club host. So she could do like literally just a sit down focusing on, if you want to be a club host, how do you go about doing that? Because that's advice. It relates to how to make money. That could be a side gig for someone, that kind of thing. Just do a separate sit down on that. She could also look at, she's been on reality shows, so she could take you through the application process. Like, this is, if you want to be part of season 2 of that show, this is how you go about applying for it. You know what I mean? Like she could take the things that she is doing and do a sit down, which would be how to make a second income if you want to be part of TV. you know what I mean? She could, she has a clothing shop, so she has a clothing line. So she could do a whole sit down, giving people advice about if you want to start a clothing business, this is how you source fabric, this is how you source the people who are going to work for you, or your tailors who are going to tailor the clothes for you, people are going to design the clothing for you. I mean, just that clothing content alone, she could break it up into 4 videos easily, so I think she should consider the content mix to attract, not necessarily to really only attract a certain crowd, but it can attract a certain crowd, but also to try and increase the CPM that she gets on the videos, so that every now and then her CPM is a bit higher than usual. So I think then for me, the issue I did have was the emotional blackmail.
Like, I was just so hurt. I was just so hurt that I thought I've already built like a community with you guys, a community that supports my hustle, a community that loves me, but you guys still want to skip my ads. Honestly, guys, this is so unfair. What do you guys want from me? What is it that I don't do for you?
How, Sissy? What is with the emotional blackmail? I think for me that's where I had a problem, because if we're going to understand the relationship between a YouTuber and the person sitting at home watching their content, is that there's no signed agreement here. There's no signed agreement. It's not an agreement with my boss at my 9-to-5 job where we've signed a contract. I've signed on my side and dated the contract. My boss signed and dated to say we have this agreement. I'm providing you services that are giving you money as a company, and in return you are paying me a salary. And that is a very clear written agreement. Here there's no agreement. And it's hard to measure effort, because especially if you're a vlogger, right? Vlogging, guys, takes time. So you vlog, you spend money, you edit. Unless you've edited, you won't understand how much work, how many hours goes into editing. It is a lot of work. But how do I measure the amount of work that you've put in against me having to sit through a 20-minute ad on YouTube? Like, where are we equalizing here? Where is it fair game? Where is it fair that I should sit through a 20-minute video, 20 minutes that I could be using for other things? Okay, so where's the scale? Where's the measure? Where's the written agreement? It's not there. Even if people have asked you for this content, even if people have asked you for it, even if people have asked you for the content, there's no written agreement. So you are doing this at your own accord. I think last point on the people or the clips I've seen of people speaking about her crashing out is them saying they don't see big YouTubers reminding people to watch ads. No, maybe it's 1 or 2 that don't remind us. The rest, they remind us. But the approach is very different, right? There's no this joking element that they put into it. Some of them, it's a quick, guys, please watch my ads. They are done. Quick, done. Like 1 second. How long did I take? Guys, please watch my ads. 1 second. That literally was 1 second. They are done. They are done. But people do remind us to watch their ads. So think about one of my favorite South African vloggers, Usne Koko. Sometimes she'll be like, guys, why aren't you guys watching my ads? You guys are naughty. And then she's done. She moves right along. Auntie T, I remember as well, she's another vlogger. There was one particular video where she reminded us to watch her ads. But then she specifically said that, guys, even me, I will not watch a 20-minute ad. So YouTube is naughty. She was like, YouTube is naughty. If you see a 20-minute ad, please skip. But please watch the smaller ads. 20 minutes, don't watch it, guys. Skip. You see what I mean? Then, I feel like it's more well received. Even, guys, even Diary of a CEO. Diary of a CEO has about 11 million subscribers, if I'm not mistaken. But every video, Steve Bartlett will sit there and say, guys, 52% of you are repeat watchers of my channel, but you haven't subscribed. Please subscribe. People do ask us to watch the ads, but I think it's the crying that was a bit overwhelming for people. And then it was also the dialogue of, after all that I do for you, no, honey. No, 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 no. Emotional blackmail will not work. Not with adults. No, because you also need my viewership, and you also need for me to buy the data. So please, I'm already doing a lot. But for me, I think that's where people got overwhelmed. But people do ask. But yeah, that's it. You know, all Big Nandz is the girl that she thinks she is. She's a hustler. She's got the personality to go for it. She's got the drive. So she will be fine. She will be fine. But I really think she should look into more sustainable means of income. Like I hope she lands like 1 or 2 brand deals. You know, there are girlies who'll say, you know, this particular brand deal helped me pay for my rent for a whole year, or that brand deal paid for my car for the whole year, or it gave me the deposit for my car, and that type of thing. So I hope she lands like a really huge, significant couple of brand deals that will make her comfortable at least for a couple of months. But she should definitely look into a sustainable means of income. And I'm not going to sit here and say 9 to 5, because not everyone wants to do a 9 to 5. Not everyone is meant to do a 9 to 5. Some of us are very comfortable in our 9 to 5s. We love our jobs, but it's not meant for everyone. So I'm not going to suggest that. But within her creative space, she should just try and find sustainable means of income. Just also to reduce the begging and the pleading on the internet. Yeah, just for her own Isidima. Yeah. Let's bring back being worried about Isidima Setu sometimes, you know. Let's bring that back. Let's bring back having a pride, being worried about Isidima Setu. Let's bring it back. Anyways, those are my 2 cents to throw in to the crash out, the so-called crash out video. But what do I know, Vele? Here I am giving YouTube advice, and I've been struggling. Guys, hey, yo, whining a subscribe. Guys. I've been sitting at 300 subscribers, even moving from 100 to 200, and then moving from 200 to Leo 300. I'm so grateful, but yay! So here I am giving YouTube advice, and I'm barely making it. I'm scraping my way through to 500 subscribers. My Audacity is wild. The Audacity is at an all-time high. How awkward. How awkward of me. Bye-bye.